I want you to imagine something with me for just a moment. Imagine the world is asleep. The streets are quiet. The lights in most houses are off. Social media has gone silent. Nobody is applauding. Nobody is watching. Nobody is liking your posts. Nobody is encouraging you. Nobody is asking how your dream is going. It is just you, your thoughts, your discipline, and the decision that will shape the rest of your life. Because let me tell you something, success is not built when people are watching. Success is built in the hours nobody sees. That's the part they never put on television. That's the chapter people skip when they tell their success stories. Everyone loves the trophy. Very few people love the training. Everyone wants the spotlight. Very few people are willing to sit alone in the darkness where champions are created. And that is where your future is being decided, not during the celebration, not when people are clapping, not when your bank account finally grows. Your future is being decided tonight, tomorrow morning, next weekend, during those invisible hours when no one would know if you worked or if you quit. Think about this for a moment. If nobody ever knew how hard you worked, would you still work hard? If nobody ever praised your progress, would you still improve? If nobody ever celebrated your discipline, would you still stay disciplined? Those questions separate dreamers from builders. I learned something years ago that completely changed the way I looked at success. The world rewards what it can see. Life rewards what nobody can see. People see the business. Life saw the 1,000 mornings you woke up early. People see the confident speaker. Life saw the years of practicing alone. People see the healthy body. Life saw every meal you refused. People see the millionaire. Life saw every sacrifice nobody applauded. The visible victory is simply the receipt. The real purchase happened in private. Here's what most people don't understand. There is a dangerous addiction in modern life. It's called visible effort. People want everyone to know they're trying. They announce every goal. They post every workout. They talk about every business idea. They tell everyone they're going to change. But talking about success gives the brain a small reward without earning the real reward. Be careful not to confuse announcing your future with building your future. The seed doesn't become a tree because it tells the forest its plans. It grows quietly, patiently, underground, and for a long time, it looks like nothing is happening. Have you ever planted something? For days, sometimes weeks. There's nothing to see, no evidence, no applause, no proof. Yet beneath the surface, life is expanding. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. A foundation is forming. Success works exactly the same way. Most people quit because they mistake invisible progress for no progress. But invisible does not mean impossible. Invisible does not mean ineffective. Invisible simply means it's not time yet. That's why patience is one of the highest forms of confidence. You're telling life, I believe the work I'm doing today will become the life I live tomorrow. Most people can't do that. They need immediate evidence, immediate money, immediate compliments, immediate results. And because life doesn't operate on immediate rewards, they give up before the harvest. Let me tell you about an ordinary man. No newspaper ever wrote about him. He wasn't famous. He wasn't wealthy. He worked 12-hour shifts at a factory. Every evening he came home exhausted. His friends laughed when he opened books after dinner. They said, "Why are you studying? You're already too old." They watched television. He studied. They slept. He learned. They spent weekends complaining. He spent weekends improving. Nothing changed for 2 years. Nothing. Same paycheck. Same apartment. Same old car. If you judged him by appearances, you'd think his effort meant nothing. But then one opportunity appeared. Just one. A promotion. Not because he got lucky. Because during the hours nobody saw, he became the person the opportunity required. Successes did not arrive that day. Success had been arriving every night for 2 years. The promotion was simply when the world finally noticed. Understand this. Opportunities don't make successful people. They reveal them. Preparation always comes before opportunity. Always. Imagine two people standing before the same door. The opportunity opens. One walks through, the other freezes. People call it luck. I call it preparation. One prepared during invisible hours. The other waited for visible opportunities. Those are completely different lives. Here's what pain teaches us. Every person will experience pain. That's not optional. The only choice you have is which pain you'll carry, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline whispers. Regret screams. Discipline asks for minutes. Regret steals years. Discipline hurts now. Regret hurts forever. Think about every person you admire. Every one of them became friends with temporary discomfort. They stopped asking, how do I avoid hard things? They started asking, which hard thing moves me toward my future? Because life never becomes easy. You simply become stronger. The weight didn't get lighter. Your muscles grew. The problem didn't shrink. Your perspective expanded. Your confidence increased because confidence is earned. Confidence is not something you think yourself into. Confidence is evidence collected from promises you've kept to yourself. Read that again inside your heart. Confidence is evidence. Every morning you wake up when you promised another piece of evidence. Every workout completed. Another piece of evidence. Every book finished. Another piece of evidence. Every excuse defeated. Another piece of evidence. Eventually your mind says, I know this person. This person keeps going. This person doesn't quit. That's confidence, not motivation. Evidence. And here's where people become confused. They chase motivation. Successful people build systems. Motivation says, I'll work when I feel inspired. Discipline says, I'll feel inspired because I worked. Huge difference. Feelings are terrible leaders, wonderful passengers, terrible leaders. If your emotions drive your life will constantly change direction. But if your values drive your life, your emotions eventually catch up. That's why winners often begin their mornings before they feel ready. Not because they're special, because they understand something most people never learn. Action creates emotion more often than emotion creates action. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for confidence before learning to swim. You gain confidence because you entered the water. Not before. Think about this for a moment. What if your future self could visit you tonight? Not 10 years from now, tonight. What would that version of you thank you for? Would they thank you for scrolling another hour? Would they thank you for postponing your dream? Would they thank you for saying, I'll start Monday? Or would they beg you, please don't waste this evening. Please don't waste this opportunity. Please don't trade our future for temporary comfort. You see, your future is talking to you every day. It doesn't use words. It uses consequences. Every decision whispers toward tomorrow. Every habit writes another sentence in the story of your life. That's why ordinary moments are never ordinary. One workout doesn't change your body. One workout changes your identity. One page doesn't make you wise. One page makes you someone who reads. One saved dollar doesn't make you wealthy. It makes you someone who respects money. Identity always comes before destiny. You don't rise to success. You grow into it. I met people who desperately wanted $1 million lives with $100 habits. It never works. Your habits are voting every day for the person you're becoming. Every action casts another vote. Skip enough workouts, you become someone who quits. Keep enough promises, you become someone who finishes. Life isn't deciding your future. Your repeated decisions already have. Here's what most people don't understand about overnight success. There is no overnight success. Only overnight visibility. The bamboo tree spends years growing underground before exploding upward in a short period. People see the explosion. They ignore the years beneath the surface. The musician practices thousands of invisible hours. People hear one perfect performance. The athlete trains while everyone else sleeps. People remember one championship game. The entrepreneur fails quietly. People celebrate one successful company. Never compare your beginning to someone else's visible middle. You're comparing your backstage to their highlight reel. That comparison will always steal your peace. Instead, ask yourself, am I better than yesterday? Did I learn something today? Did I become slightly stronger today? Because success loves small improvements. 1% today, 1% tomorrow, 1% next week. Tiny gains become massive transformations because of the compound effect. The compound effect is one of life's greatest miracles. A single drop of water seems powerless, but thousands of drops can carve through solid rock. Not because they're powerful individually, because they're consistent collectively. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can have one incredible day. Few people build incredible years. And years create extraordinary lives. Let me tell you something I wish every young person understood. You don't become exceptional by doing exceptional things occasionally. You become exceptional by doing ordinary things extraordinarily well again and again and again. When nobody is watching. Especially when nobody is watching, because that's when your character speaks. Character is what remains after applause disappears. Integrity is doing the right thing after recognition leaves the room. And character, more than talent, more than intelligence, more than connections, is what carries people through storms that destroy everyone else. I have watched brilliant people lose because they lacked discipline. I have watched average people win because they refuse to quit. Talent opens doors. Character keeps them open. Discipline builds the house. Patience protects it. Wisdom fills it. And every one of those qualities is developed in silence, in obscurity, in moments when the world has no idea what you're becoming. That's why I never underestimate quiet people. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is fighting the biggest battle, building the biggest dream, preparing for the biggest breakthrough. Because not everyone announces their progress. Some people simply become undeniable. And when they finally arrive, because they spent years becoming the kind of person that success could trust. Let me tell you something. Doxesis has trust issues. It doesn't stay with people who are only committed when life is convenient. It doesn't remain with people who only show up when they're inspired. Success watches you long before it rewards you. It watches how you respond when nobody checks on you. It watches what you do when your alarm clock rings and your bed feels warmer than your dream. It watches whether you tell the truth when lying would be easier. It watches whether you continue after disappointment or whether you surrender at the first sign of resistance.